Hello, and welcome to episode number 19 of the Marriage Coach Podcast, where we are here to help you take your relationship from surviving to thriving.
Today on the Marriage Coach Podcast, we're going to be discussing the little things that matter.
Long before we enter the bedroom or long before any sexual intimacy happens, the little things make a big difference in a relationship. The little bitty things that we sometimes in a relationship overlook. The little bitty things that sometimes in a relationship we don't even think about. One person may think these things are very, very important, and the other person may think, we do it sometimes we don't, and it's okay. We believe that being intentional about these little things, and today we are sharing a few of the little things that have been, that have been beneficial to our relationship.
Right. And it's amazing. I mean, people always say this, the little things that matters the most. And we'll be surprised. I mean, the little things that we do that destroys marriages, and also the little things that we do that actually enhance marriage. I remember early on in our relationship, we used to have discussions on, what works and why is it working. And, we had no idea, just two kids that loved each other. And just thinking about some of the things that we have done, in the past, those little things mean so much in the relationship. Those little things is what makes the big impact. Those small things is what gets relationships, period. Not only marriages. Whether you're single, I mean, whether you're your friends, your neighbors, whatever. I mean, it's those little small things that mean so much that makes a huge impact on our relationships.
Absolutely. And when we were talking about this, when we began to discuss what were some of the little things that we do, it was like, wow, it was really eye-opening that we've done these things for so many years, and now they are so natural. They are so natural. Many of them, a day doesn't end without them. A day doesn't begin without them. We do it throughout the day.
Every last one of us as human beings, I mean, we want to good vibe from partners, from our friends. I mean,
I agree.
I think this is something that the human desire as people, but the thing about it, a lot of times the things that we desire most from people is not the things that we just naturally willing to give. It's like, okay, you do it for me, then I do it for you. You scratch my back, then I scratch your back. But I think even, the important thing of being the initiator, showing the love that we want to see, we showing that love. That's the golden rule. Golden rule say treat others as you want to be treated. And somebody came up with this cool platinum rule. Says platinum rule: treat others better than you want to be treated.
I was talking to someone, and they made a statement to me that made me think about some of the little things that we do. And the statement was that as far as a couple, making love starts way before you get bedroom. So creating intimacy starts way before you get into the bedroom. And that conversation, the way that person said that, it made it clear to me that this is what we've been doing throughout our relationship and throughout our marriage. We've been using these little things to make love before we even make it to the bedroom, to have intimacy between us that has nothing to do with the bedroom. So it speaks to, and I agree with you. You said that everyone wants to receive things, and I agree with you. The only reason why I said that some people may think it's too much, because whether they're just talking, I've actually had people tell me, oh, that's just too much. But, I don't know if it's talking. It's just something that someone has, not someone, several people have said to me before.
I mean, to be honest, a person that said maybe that's too much is a person that's not getting it.
Never thought about that. Never thought about that.
Everybody wanted. I mean, everybody wants to be loved. I don't care who you are.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But that's the part of want to be loved. That's a part of it. Actually, that's affection and being loved. So if somebody said don't take all that, it's somebody that may not be getting it. And because they're not getting it, maybe I have to justify in my mind, because if I say, okay, this is not
Then
okay,
I'm
or I want
acknowledging
more,
something is
then
wrong or I'm not
right,
getting something I need.
exactly,
Okay, got
exactly,
you, got you, got you.
exactly.
Well, so the
Yeah,
little thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the
That's
little
good
things.
though. I didn't think about that. That's
Yeah,
good. That's good. The
yeah,
little thing.
yeah. The little things that mean so much.
They do. They
Yeah.
add up. They add up.
All right, so we're talking about the
Yes,
little
little
things
things
in
that you and I.
relationships that mean
Mhm.
so much. The little things, actually, little things that you and
Yes,
I
and
have
we thought
done.
it would be great to
Yeah,
share with people
yeah,
because we feel like, if these little things have become things that mean so much to us and things that we are, as we grow older and as
mm,
we are spending the rest of our lives together, we've become intentional about these little things.
yeah,
We started out doing them for whatever, can't, I mean, it's been a long time, so I can't even decide or say what pinpoint what was the deciding factor. Maybe we can once we talk it out. But each one of these little things have become, it's like a part of the character of our marriage.
yeah.
It's the part of the character of our relationship. So we wanted to share these things, and we were talking, and we was like, let's share these things because we talked about a few podcasts back sharing more of us and what we do and things that have
Yeah,
worked for
things
us,
is
things that haven't
still
worked for
working,
us.
right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that people can know. And it's up to everyone if they want to decide to use them or say, hey, I need to be a little bit more intentional about that. Hey, me and my spouse or my significant other, we do that sometimes, but maybe being a little bit more intentional about it.
Before we get into the first one, I do want to say this, because this is the
Mm-hmm.
thing. I hear this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people, especially people that know us closely. They admire marriage, they admire relationship, and I hear people say this all the time, like, "Oh man, I want my marriage to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a marriage like this." But this is the thing: everything that we ever done, and we still do. I mean, it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
It's intentional. I mean, our marriage is not by accident. I mean, everything is intentional. What we do, how we do it. I mean, we really care about each other. We really care about making her. I'm really intentional about pleasing her, and she's the same way with me, and
Yes.
that's what works with
Yes.
us. So I just want to put I just want to put a disclaimer right there, and
Mm-hmm.
just let you know. I mean, you have to work at it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens by luck. I mean, to be honest with you, it's nothing special about us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like, oh, she's the special woman, I'm the special guy. I mean, well, you are special to
I
me,
was gonna say
but
you are pretty special.
right. I mean, but the point I'm
But
making,
I get it. I get
the
it. I
point
get
I'm
it.
making, it is nothing special on why a relationship
Mm-hmm.
is the way it is, other than putting in the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Although we both think that each other is are very special people,
right.
we still have to do the work for the relationship to be what it is. We still have to put in the effort and the intentionality so that the relationship can be all that it is.
Right. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, what's number
So
one? The number one reason in the little things that matters. What's number one?
number one is kisses and I love you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So kisses and I love you. As we talked about this, I just thought about wow, for the last 22 years. I mean, this is something that we started doing very early on. There's never a morning that doesn't begin without a
Yeah.
kiss. Sometimes it's cheek to cheek till we brush our teeth,
Yeah.
but there's a morning kiss. I never leave the house. I never leave the house without saying I love you. He never leaves the house. Every time we get off the phone with each other, we could talk 10 times a day.
Wow.
Every time we get off the phone with each other, we say I love you. And those things have become very, very special. And for me, and let you talk about it, but for me, I take this at this moment, it takes me back to the time when you were very sick. And that was just a few years ago. But when you were very sick, these I love yous became more important because although I didn't want anything to happen to you, and I pray, for God to heal you. I know that if you were to leave this earth, I didn't have to wonder if you know that I love you because
Yeah.
I make sure that I say it. And not only is it words that I say, but I do my best to show it every day. So kisses and I love yous, being intentional about kisses and I love you. And we ain't talking about no, slobby kisses where you trying to, get your freak on. We're just talking about sharing little pecks throughout the day. Sometimes we're in the kitchen, it doesn't matter. The kids are there, mom's there, whoever, I share a peck with him. He shares a peck with me because this is the non-sexual things that we do that are we intentional about for our relationship.
Right. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. I mean, after we talk a lot on the phone, we're not around each other, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just so. I don't know, just so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like I say, after 22 years, we still. I mean, we still like talking to each other, and sometimes when we do have those, those real good
Oh
nights,
yeah.
we do. I get a text around 9, 10 o'clock. To kind of perk me up, perk
You
my
jumping
senses a
ahead.
little
You
bit.
jumping ahead.
Oh, I'm going ahead. Okay, yeah, but yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
Right, right, right.
So what's number two?
So number two is cuddling. And we're
Cuddling.
talking about non-sexual cuddling. We watch my husband, my honey,
uh,
he will watch girly movies with me. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. And we watch movies together. It doesn't matter, family
yeah,
movies, girly movies, whatever. We oftentimes are cuddling on the couch. I'm laying in his lap, he's laying in my lap, we're laying next to each other. My husband, we've already shared this many times, he's a pastor. Sometimes on Sunday after church, we come home, we eat dinner, and we're cuddling on the couch and we fall asleep there.
yeah,
And I think that these are moments that we just share. Sometimes we're just laying there together talking. Sometimes he's holding me, sometimes I'm holding him. That's what we do. But it's been something that we do without thought now. And well, I don't want to say without thought because we are intentional. I want to sit next to him and he wants to sit next to me. And we understand that these are things that we do to cultivate us and our intimacy. And we think that it's important to do. It's important for a wife. This is for me personally, and I'm sharing something very, I don't think it's that personal, but kind of personal. I think it's important for a wife to know that she can cuddle with her spouse and it's going to be non-sexual. And if it leads to something sexual, that's good too, but not that that's what it has to be. Like you can never get a simple intimate touch without it going into we have to have sex. But if we do, then that's great too. If it's just us being, cuddling, that's what we do.
we do a lot of cuddling. Yeah, it's
You
kind of
silly.
strange for a man to say that, but yeah, um, yeah, but we do. I have to admit, I love it. Sometimes for all the homies, I mean, you probably never hear this side of it, but yeah, I love it. I like to cuddle.
Yes, we like to cuddle the little things.
Let's go to the next one.
All right. So so number three.
Number three.
Number three is time together.
Time together.
Time
Talk about
together. Time together. We love spending time together. We're intentional about spending time together. We plan to spend time together.
it.
For those that are listening that know my husband, and for those that don't, my husband is definitely a planner. I'm the sometimes spontaneous one that don't plan. I'll
Mm.
carry out the plan, but my husband is a planner, and this is something that and it has been very very beneficial to our lives, time together and the planning part, because when my husband first started in his pastoralship, he intentionally came to me. We had a conversation and we've talked about it on other podcasts
Right.
about us spending time together. He said, ministry life as a pastor causes for you to give up yourself to a lot of people and to a lot of situations and circumstances. And
Yeah.
he said, in the midst of this, I don't ever want us to lose us.
Mm.
And that was amazing to me. I mean, amazing is not even a word to really explain it, but it really was a very, very vital point to our relationship, because after that moment, our lives became very busy. We have full-time jobs, full-time ministry, we have family, we have all of these things to do. And also, over the years, we began to start businesses and things of that nature.
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
life is very busy. And with life being busy, something that we maintain shifted up a little bit when COVID came, but we maintained time together. He started to plan out these 2-day trips where we would go, just the two of us. So time together is important. This is another one of those things where you're definitely creating intimacy outside of the bedroom, or you're creating intimacy just for the time of you and that person, your significant other.
Right.
It's been, times when we talk, it's just the two of us. The times when we take a ride to go get snow cones, go get ice cream, whatever it is, the times when we take a ride to the park, a walk, it's just us. And those are the times when we share our dreams, our ideas, our aspirations, even things that God has revealed to us, and things that we see about ourselves. And those are the times that, if we have had a disagreement, in those times away are the times when we can discuss and talk about what led to that disagreement, and our insecurities, our brokenness as individuals. And that time away or time together allows us to do that and to discuss all of these things freely, with it just being the two of us as listening
And you
ears.
spoke of times of insecurity, and this is the thing, because I mean we all have, and listen to me, we all have some type of brokenness going on within us, and those moments of time together, which other words, quality time, when you really having those moments, I'm not talking about together, but we on our cell phones. I'm talking having some quality
Mm-hmm.
time. When you're really having some quality time, that's when you really having those
Oh yeah.
conversations and you really begin to understand each other. And when you begin to understand each other, then you soon to be more forgiving, with our shortcomings. I think
Absolutely.
a lot of our shortcomings, came around the corner, in our quality time, having those conversations on why, early on in our marriage, why I got upset so quick, or,
Mm-hmm.
had a quick temperament and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things. We're able to have those real conversations. Even with you, some things like, we're conversating, I try not to elevate my voice or
Mm-hmm.
whatever when we're having a more serious
Mm-hmm.
conversation, because you don't
Yeah,
receive it. You put
absolutely.
the wall come up, and but talking about where that come from, the
Yes, the
things
time,
about it,
and we
those
did that in the time
conversations,
together.
and that
Mm-hmm.
really helped. And one thing, another thing about time together is something that we must understand. And I want you to understand that it doesn't take much money to do it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, we planned the trip. I mean, we used to go. We back, like she mentioned early on in the pastoralship. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, we took, well, 4 vacations a year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not including family vacation. It's just me and
Yes,
her.
just
February, well, it was F man, we called
mm-hmm.
it. So
February,
February,
May,
May,
August,
August,
and
November.
November.
Yeah. So we put some acronyms on it to remember the time, and we actually traveled. I mean, we got away. I mean, so these things was put into place. So it's times we did spend money, but there's other times, like we live in about 5 minutes from Lake Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's something that don't cost any money. Just
Mm-mm.
driving down to the
Just drive
lake,
to the park. Mm-hmm.
and I mean sometimes we sit in the car, sometimes we walk around. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, but we spending this time together, and I think this is very, very good.
It
Just
is.
it's a lot of things you can do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sometimes on Sunday evenings we're just going to ride. We'll go to go get a snow cone or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to ride, just me and her, and we'll go and we just have our quality time. We just have our conversation, because I mean, to be honest, it's not a lot of times that we're able to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's two things. Just it don't it doesn't cost much money.
No.
It's a good thing, and then also, like you say, planning it. I'm a planner. Plan
Mm-hmm.
it out. Put those things into place. And even one of the things, and I have to be honest, I think I'm more mindful of this than you are.
Mm-hmm.
As of speaking right now, 2020, uh, uh, going into December, um, one of the things that I think I'm better at, if I'm not, correct me, but is quality time throughout the day.
Oh
I mean,
yes.
because I'm
Yes.
a planner. I mean, that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
things I do. I work to a certain amount of time, and I say, okay, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, I'm shutting down, and everything's shutting down, and we're spending time together. No more work, no more. All that stuff is over with.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes
And I'm still working
all
at
right,
it. I'm still working
I
at it.
will come
Mm-hmm.
down. We'll be in the bedroom,
And I'm on. Got my laptop
and
with.
right, you're in the
Yeah.
laptop, and I'm sitting, spend quality time.
Yes.
So I'm very intentional about it. And one of the reasons why I'm so intentional about it, because I've seen, I just say this, and I've seen a lot of divorces in my life. And one of the things that always puzzled me, especially, have relationships that's 25, 30, 40 years. I've seen
Yes.
this. I've had this, I've seen this happen close to me. And it was just so, I don't know, it just kind of raised a flag in my
Hmm.
head. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
and how can I prevent this from
Hmm.
happening in my marriage? So, and I realized, the quality time, I mean, that small
Yeah.
thing, it
That
means
time
so much,
together.
that
Yeah.
times together,
Hmm.
because what happens is when we don't have that time together, we lose each other. People say things like, oh man, I've fallen out of love. I've fallen
Mm.
out of love. No, you're not investing the
Invest
time
in the
you was
time.
investing
Yep.
into it.
Yep. Yep.
And then you say you've fallen out of love and fallen in love with somebody else. That's
You've been
because
investing the time with that other person. That's
exactly.
what it is. Yeah.
And a lot of times with these type of relationships, you're kind of bouncing around. Every 2 years, you got something
Yeah.
new. And the
Hmm.
reason why, because
You're not investing the time.
after you invested enough time or whatever, I mean, it's like you don't want to keep doing it. So that's just, I mean, that's a side nugget
A
for
nugget
somebody
by
that's
itself.
that's struggling in that area of always can't keep a solid relationship. Maybe just investing into something, investing in someone you love, and just investing in and putting that time in over and over again, and revolving the cycle. Because that's the thing. I think it's like we're in these relationships and we cross this
Hmm.
loop, and once you cross this loop,
Yeah.
okay, I done did everything here. Now it's time to move on.
Yeah.
You're not saying that physically, but that's what's going on
That's
in your
what you're
mind.
doing.
Your brain is getting bored with it, but just recycle it. It's okay. It's okay. So quality time, spending time together is very, very important in the small things that makes the biggest impacts in our relationship.
Absolutely. And you just said something that I want to just go back to for a second because I'm thinking about those that are listening. This is something that he is very much he's
Very
better at
intentional.
very intentional
Yeah.
and better at it than I am. But let me tell you this, in this year in 2020, being going through quarantine, going through being at home through COVID, it also what it brought to light for me was that I was not being as intentional about it as I thought I was, and with that being said, then when he brought it, when it first brought to my attention was myself, like, okay, I'm still doing something. I'm still sending text messages. And we've talked about it. I've talked about it on podcasts. I know better than this, but I'm still doing it, and even if it's something, recently I found myself, I was shopping on the internet. I wasn't on the internet with someone else. I wasn't, texting. So I thought that was okay. Like, but I'm trying to finish my shopping, but he had already worked the day, and this was a normal day, a Monday. We spend the evening together, and it kind of took me a little while into my shopping. Then I'm like, wait a minute, we both watching the movie together.
Right.
So I finally closed the laptop, and got fully into the movie. So the reason why I wanted to say that is because I think it's important for those that think that you're busy. Oh, well, I'm handling business. I'm making money. This is taking care of my family. He ought to let me do this because this is a client. No, we have to be intentional about the time together. What he just shared is a fact for us. That time together is the times when we've been able to, we've been saying this lately, we've been able to be in those times together naked with each other. And I don't mean physically naked, I mean emotionally naked, I
Yeah.
mean mentally naked, I mean each
Yeah.
other. So we're not talking about physical, we're talking about mental, emotional, spiritual. And these are the times when we can do that because there's no guard up. There's nothing holding us back.
Yeah.
There's no one else listening. It's just the two of us.
Yeah.
It's the time when I'm paying attention to you and you're open to be able to share with me, and the time when I'm open to be able to share with you. So this time together, it has been amazing. And the more that both people become intentional about it, and look, we're telling you the truth. I'm still working on it. He's a lot better at it than I am. I'm still working on it, but it still has done such wonderful things for us that we thought it was important to share this little thing that sometimes could be overlooked. Even sometimes the fact that I'm on the internet while we're together, and that's the little thing that I'm overlooking, but it's important to the time together.
Yeah. and it's very important. And this is the thing, even from my end. I mean, I because I'm so intentional about it. Because I mean, like I said, I'm a pastor. You know, I've coached a lot of people relationships, so I understand the detriment in not doing it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important to me because I don't want, you know, I don't want to be the one that I try to be as real as possible, and I don't want to be the one faking it till I make it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the one that's acting like we got it together when we really don't. You know, I'm sleeping on the couch or somebody else sleeping. I don't want. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want that.
Right.
I don't want that. And prayer go out to the relationship that's like that. I really,
Mm.
really praying for you
Yes.
guys and hope you guys, just really, just moving together and get drawing closer, in the future. I mean, so. But these things are very important. Quality time is key. I mean, think
Mm-hmm.
about it. I mean, we spend the most time with the things we love most.
Mm-hmm.
And at
That's
one
true.
time, I mean, you guys, I remember when we were dating, we were falling asleep on the phone,
Yes.
talking to each other. Wake up, hey, you still up?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
uh, uh, you know. And I remember one time we fell asleep on the phone, and back then, you had to, yeah, and that kind of woke me up. That was like my little
Yeah.
alarm, and I went ahead and went to bed. I mean, but went ahead and went to sleep without the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, these are type of things. I mean, when you falling in love, I mean, you're spending that
You
time. So
are
it's like,
you're
why are you?
intentional about cultivating that.
Yes, and it's like,
Yes. Yes.
why stop? And that's,
Mm-hmm.
what, that's something for another podcast because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we can really, deal with that. Why we stop spending the time? Why we stop
Yeah.
loving on each other? But we're gonna say that for a future podcast. Write a note right there because I do
Yes.
want to deal with that. But so number 3 is time together. What's number 4?
Number 4 is space for self.
Let's talk about that.
So just as much as your relationship needs time together
Ah,
to cultivate your togetherness, you have to allow space for your significant other to have time for themselves.
mm,
You have to allow space for your significant other to have time to do the things they like to do.
ah,
You have to have space for your significant other. It has to be okay for your husband to go hang out with, whoever, his boys, his cousins, whoever, and that has to be okay, even if it's just him watching sports. For the guy that likes to play video games, maybe that's his thing. For the spouse, the wife that likes to go shopping, that hang out with her girls,
ah,
watch Lifetime, whatever it is, that space for self. For us, my husband loves to play golf. He's been a cycler, he's played golf,
mm.
he's done what else
I'm a
He's
chess player.
yes, chess.
Yeah,
He loves these things. He's an outdoor person. I'm not necessarily an outdoor person. I do some of these things with him, but I'm not an outdoor person. So I'm the person that likes to watch TV. I'm the person that likes to shop. I'm the person that watch YouTube videos. So we both have time and space. So there's times when he comes home and he's upstairs in the office and he works, and before he comes down, he has that moment to break to himself and play a game of chess on his phone, or to watch, something about golf or something, just that time for himself.
yeah,
And you have to allow your significant other to have space. You have to allow them to have the opportunity to be themselves, because we are a unit, we are unified, we're a couple, we're together, but we are still two individuals. I still have my own self and my personality and things I like to do. He still has his own self, his personality, and things he likes to do. And that doesn't mean that he loves me any less. It doesn't mean I love him any less. It doesn't mean I want to be with him any less. Doesn't mean he wants to be with me any less. We really believe that it's important for your significant other not only to cultivate that time together, but for them to have time to themselves. Don't smother them. Don't let them feel like they can't go out the door without you following them. They
yeah.
can't go hang out with a
Mm,
cousin without you or going along with them or calling them every 5 minutes. That sometimes that's a sign for something else,
yeah,
some other insecurity or some other issue.
yeah,
And that's something for the couple, that's the issue. There's some other insecurity. There was infidelity. There was something else going on. You got to work through that. Get some coaching, get some counseling, get a way to work through that, because a person needs time to themselves. Maybe they just want to go have coffee with their bestie. Maybe they want to go have tea. That has to be okay. They have to have space to themselves. We want to thank you for joining us on the Marriage Coach Podcast. Wherever you are listening or watching, we would like to encourage you to subscribe and click the notification button so that you will be notified when we upload a video every week. And we're also asking that if you're watching on YouTube, that you will give us a big thumbs up and let us know that you enjoyed the information that you received on today. If you're listening on iTunes, we encourage you to leave a review and rate the podcast. That helps us get the word out. Please head on over to our leadership podcast, Lead to Greatness, on iTunes and YouTube, and check us out.
Thank you for joining us today. Looking forward to hanging out with you again on next week as we continue to help you take your relationship from surviving to thriving. Bye. See you next week.